All right, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in, watching my videos. I appreciate it. Okay. Uh, Once again, I'm trying to get 5,000, 5K subscribers. Help me out. Give me your suggestions. Today, I got something for you. Red flags. Red flags. Yeah, red flags. We always talk about red flags. But I got red flags regarding you, the one who's procrastinating about their trip to Southeast Asia. What's the red flags? The red flags for someone who has been planning to come either to the Philippines, Indonesia, you name it, anywhere in Southeast Asia. Number one red flag is you're a procrastinator. Can't make a decision. No matter what happens, you find a reason to what? Kick it to the back. Kick the can down the road. uh, you hear something on YouTube and you say, oh, well, I think I better investigate that before I go any further with my plans to go to the Philippines. Or someone tell you, man, I don't think you should be going there. That that place is not safe. Oh, I better check that out and see what is that really true. And every time something comes up, you use that as an alibi as to why you postpone, delay, prolong your trip to the Philippines. You're procrastinating. Another red flag, a big red flag, is your health. If you're in the ER every other week or every week, you're going to the emergency room because you have some type of condition and it's not in control, whether it be asthma, heart, uh, sugar, blood pressure, whatever. If you have a health condition and you're constantly seeking emergency medical treatment for it, or you're constantly under medical supervision in regards to that condition, that's a red flag. Simply because there's no healthcare. Well, I take that back. There is healthcare systems better than the U.S., but there's none compatible in Southeast Asia to the U.S. Now, there's some places in Southeast Asia that do have good healthcare, okay? But if you're coming to the Philippines, forget it, okay? If you're going to the ER or you have to go see your doctor every week in regards to maintaining some pre-existing condition that you have, nah, that's a red flag. Uh, I strongly suggest that if you do have any intentions on planning or coming, especially to the Philippines, that you consult your physicians, multiple physicians, in regards to your health and your ability to make the trip and come back healthy. I'm gonna give you an example. I believe it was 2009. 2009. I had a massive heart attack. 2009, I had a massive heart attack at KeyBank at my seat in my desk, And there was some recovery that went on. So the next year, 2010, um, I was itching to get back to the Philippines. So naturally, I told my doctor, I'm you ready to make that trip and so forth and so on. So he gave me some tidbits, some things that I needed to do in order to make it there and back. Now, that's why I'm saying if you have some medical conditions, you need to consult your doctor because they can tell you whether it's a good move or a bad move. So one of the things that he suggested was I get wheelchair service once I get to the airport. From the airport all the way through to the Philippines, get wheelchair service. He says because your flight is taking you from Cleveland to Chicago to Nagasaki, Japan. He says when you get to Chicago, that's a long walk to where you have to go to get your flight. He says they have those little pads that like escalators, but you have a long walk. And even on those, it's strenuous. So he says, get wheelchair service. And man, let me tell you, I was so much appreciative of that piece of advice because I didn't realize just how strenuous it is going through the airports, especially when you have a problem, a health problem. It was strenuous, and I was in a wheelchair. Needless to say, when I got to Nagasaki, Japan, the wheelchair was big enough for me and somebody else to sit in it, right? And you know how small the Japanese people are, right? So I'm sitting there in this humongous wheelchair, and I'm humongous myself, right? But I'm not taking up the whole wheelchair. The wheelchair is, it still got room for another American to sit in, not Japanese, American, okay? So I'm sitting there, and I noticed that all the people boarding the plane is just about gone. So I say, hey, anybody go push me to get to, it's, oh. So they started calling me. They ended up with 4 people, 4 little Japanese girls to push me to my entrance to get on my plane, okay? So, like I said, it's an adventure if you have a health issue. So red flag, health issues. You see, another red flag is your time off. What kind of time do you have off from your job? Okay, and when is your time off? So if your time off is only during seasons in, let's say, the Philippines, that's extremely hot or extremely rainy, or it's at a time when the prices is so high, you can't afford to go. Your time off on the job could be a red flag because it's something that you have to manage and get a control of in order to make this flight and make it within a reasonable period of time and for a reasonable amount of money. So once again, I'm suggesting that if you have time off, you gotta put a plan in effect far in advance because now I before when I first started traveling, it was nothing for me to go in there midnight, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and at night and work out a flight schedule and book different flights going different places. But now, man, it's tedious as heck. So the other red flag is just that, your age and your ability to do the things that needs to be done. Like I said, at one time I could go in and book my flights going here, there, wherever, and my hotel and car, I could book it all and have no problem. Now, as soon as I get to the website, man, I start having the shakes because it seems to me to be a lot of stress. You got to figure out a lot of variables. But when I was younger, it wasn't that difficult to do. But now it's stressful. So what's another red flag? Another red flag is your age. What's your age? What's your limitations? Uh, what motor skills that you have diminished that could become a problem for you in traveling? You see, your speech, uh, your writing, your vision, you know, what is it at your age could incapacitate you to make this trip, make it successfully and safely? That's something you gotta consider. You gotta consider your age and your mobility. You see, your what you're capable of doing, not when you were younger, but today, the day you're planning to go. You see, you got to put all those things into consideration. And for all of these red flags, now there are some things that you can do to offset them. All right, we'll talk about that later. But first of all, a red flag is something that you need to recognize. All right, so you need to recognize that your age could play a factor in you getting from St. Louis, Missouri to Manila, Philippines. Okay, and how could it play a factor in your health, your medical condition, and your ability, your stamina, what you're capable of doing at that age, the age that you are when you're planning to take that trip. So you need to be cognizant of those things, okay? You need to make sure you include those when you're doing your planning. Um, don't leave out those red flags. Those are important red flags, okay? You see, you have other red flags regarding your safety, you see. Um, if you don't feel safe, you can more or less uh, make your whole trip paranormal, okay? You can be paranoid, okay? And being paranoid could cause you stress and could cause you difficulty in getting from one destination to another. So how is your mental status in regards to the safety of the trip that you're about to take? You gotta feel safe, you gotta feel secure. So you need to check out what might be um, anything that you need to know and be aware of that would cause you some concern about your personal safety. And I can assure you that, you know, flying, all the times I've never had a concern in regards to safety. Never. Um, a lot of people will give you their opinion about whether the Philippines is safe or not. Um, Man, I've been to a lot of places here in the Philippines, and I've never seen or experienced anything that would make me uncomfortable as far as my safety. Other places, I can't say the same. I've been some places where outside of the Philippines in other countries where I did feel uh, somewhat skeptical about my safety or concerned about my safety. Here, I've never had that feeling. I don't know why, but I can't name an incident that would say that this heightened my safety alert. Can't say that I have. So again, we have red flags that will indicate why it is that we will never make that trip. We'll never make that trip, you see. And until you look at these red flags, address these issues, you're not going to get off the ground. You're not going to board that plane. You're not going to buy that ticket because those things are holding you back because they're up here. You ain't worked them out. You got to work them out, okay? And they can be worked out. So the red flags, once again, primarily is based on your will and desire to get on that plane, your will and desire to press that button to purchase that ticket. So if you have that desire, you're going to find a way to resolve those issues. Some of those issues you may not have mentally, but I'm giving them to you as a red flag because those are some issues that you really need to consider. You may, at the present time, feel like you don't have no concerns about your health. You ready to go. You know, all boxes are checked. Hotels check, car check, uh, persons and people you're going to visit check. You see, but you haven't thought about your health. You see, and what I'm trying to let you know is that you need to check those boxes in regards to your health and safety. Okay, don't let it go by. All right. So listen, if you got any questions, any comments, let me hear it. Okay. We're gonna try to get this thing up to 5K subscribers. I need your help. Okay. What I need is if you got any suggestions, something you want to hear, some information you need to know about, I need you to tell me. Send me a comment, let me know. I'm going to respond ASAP, okay? I'm going to try to put these out a little more often than I have. I think I've been putting them out 2-3 days, but I'm going to try to put them out every day, okay? Because there's so many things that you guys need to know in order to hit that button and buy that ticket, okay? Okay. Red flags for you to get to the Philippines. I gave you some hints, I gave you some suggestions. Now, later on, I could give you some workarounds for some of those red flags, okay? So, and listen, once again, when you help other people from the bottom of your heart, you're truly helping yourself. God bless, take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow, God willing.